What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. First, I wanted to start off by just talking about how ridiculous this new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville is going to be that's coming up here in the next couple of weeks that, again, I will not be watching. But I was reading Urban Belle magazine's blog, and just the title of this blog article just shows you how Carlos, I believe, is grasping at straws to keep this show on the air. And I just wanted to just give you a little bit of it before I get into what I really want to talk about. Because to be honest, I really don't care about this show. But the title of the blog article is destinypayton returns to LAMH to confront ex-boyfriend and his new wife. Now, listen, I know that we have already talked about the fact that this ex-producer is now married to her ex-boyfriend, and even though a lot of people feel like it's shady, and I definitely agree with that, they're married at this point. So even if the marriage turns out to be another 15-month situation like Portia's wound up being, they're still married. So to have a reality show where you're going to have the ex-girlfriend come on to confront this now husband and his now wife is absolutely ridiculous. And that honestly just goes to show how all of those involved, meaning Carlos, Destiny, the ex-producer, and the now husband and former boyfriend of Destiny, are all in on this. Because they're all going to be mic'd up. They're all going to be in these locations that they set up. And they're all going to be in on the conversation. So that just shows you how fake it really is. Nobody is going to do something like this in real life and it be like a real situation. So just reading the title of the article, I'm not even going to, I should say, go into the article itself, but I'm just basically saying how ridiculous this all really looks. And speaking of the ridiculousness of it all, I was listening to blogger Sherelle from Shellys World. She did some commentary on Carlos, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and some other things she did some commentary on. And it was honestly, even though I didn't agree with everything that she was saying, I couldn't help but laugh when her husband Perry was imitating Carlos, because he had on the fake Burger King crown and the fake King's cape or whatever that's called with the scepter in his hand, and he's trying to speak like Carlos. It was just and he was saying my rain drips, which I was laughing at that because it was funny, because honestly at this point I feel that Carlos is a bit of a joke. And here's why. This isn't the only reason. But someone made a comment under one of my posts recently, and they made a very good point. Now, most of the people who leave me comments, they leave really good points. But I just wanted to say this. The person asked, I wonder what was Carlos even really working on prior to him doing Love and Marriage Huntsville? Because prior to that, he had done help on the Real Housewives franchises, and not even all of them, but some of them. And then he was allegedly fired from the network. And nobody had really seen or heard from him in terms of something big like that before. But he did have the show Hollywood, because I've actually watched that show. I did like it. It was Hollywood Divas. It had Golden Brooks, who used to be on Girlfriends. Oh, Lord. She played Kim on Moesha and on The Parkers. I don't know. I know her name. Why can't I recall it right now? As well as Elise Neil. And I heard, because I heard Alexander Rogers reference this on a number of occasions on some commentary that he's done, that Elise Neil, the reason why the show didn't come back was there was a light fixture or something like that that fell on Elise Neil's head, and she was injured, and I believe she sued the crap out of him, and I guess he couldn't really afford to do it anymore. Maybe he didn't have the right type of insurance in place. I don't know. I'm just basically saying what has been alleged, and I'm just speculating on things, so I'm not saying anything is matter of fact. But yeah, he did the Hollywood Divas show as well as the First 15. And both of these shows, they came on the TV One network. The First 15, it had Claudia Jordan, what's her name, from Basketball Wives. Actually, a couple of people from Basketball Wives. Jennifer Williams, and I believe her name is Gloria Govan. She has some children with the basketball or former basketball player Gilbert Arenas, as well as Karamo Brown, and I think somebody else was on it as well. Tiffany Pollard, yeah, Tiffany New York Pollard. That was actually, it was cool, but it only had one season. The point of me saying these things is that Carlos has not really earned the title of being the king of reality TV. That has to be a play on words when it comes to just his last name being King and him working in reality TV, but he hasn't really shown a steady track record of being that successful. And when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville, the formula that he switched it to from what Melody really wanted or pitched to him in the beginning, although I spoke about that as well recently, and I said, honestly, I feel like that benefited her even more so in terms of her being able to move out and move on with her life from that trash bag ex-husband of hers, because of the fact that with all of the drama that has ensued with the show and all of the things that have come out, if they were just doing a real estate show, I don't know if it would have gotten to the point where it is where she had the strength to walk away. I'm not saying it would not have happened, but I believe that it being in a platform like this actually benefited her more, even though all of the drama and the fakeness with a lot of the other people that has come out hasn't been very pleasant and pleasurable for the viewing audience to view, with her crazy ex-husband and his psychopathic ways and all of those different things like that. I don't know if that stuff would have come out had they have done a reality show when it came to just real estate, because Hotel, he was good at playing the part and covering up for a long time with wearing the suits, looking like the consummate professional, looking like the person that really knew real estate, really was building homes out here. I don't think that they ever would have revealed, if they really did a reality show where it was just real estate, that the nigga didn't even have a builder's license, okay? I'm just being real. But my point in saying all of this is Carlos really has not shown himself to be this amazing reality TV production person that just knows so much about reality TV, because his track record prior to this, it has not really shown that much success. It had been alleged that he was either behind or involved in the things that were said about Candy by Phaedra that, yes, Portia was involved in, that she tried to back out of later. And she did successfully, unfortunately, which I thought was crazy, to act like, well, I was just saying what I was told. I didn't have anything to do with it. Phaedra told me and that's it. Passing the buck, if you will. But my point in saying all of this is just seeing how these things are and all of the craziness that's going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage DC, where Winter has come out and she's done an interview and she's pretty much put Carlos on blast to say, yeah, you know, we're getting paid about $2,500 an episode. You know, some people are like, these people could just work corporate jobs and or even just doing their own thing and make that amount of money versus getting this type of exposure that hasn't really been that positive. To get paid that menial amount of money is crazy to a lot of people. There's not enough money to pay me to be on, one, reality TV, and two, a Carlos King production of itself. But I digress. Some people just feel like, well, this would just be an opportunity. So they weren't really looking at the money aspect of it in terms of the paycheck, but the exposure and all of the other opportunities that they could gain from it. And a lot of the people who are on Love and Marriage Huntsville, they haven't come across as extremely likable. And I know there's some people out there, including Shellys World, which, listen, that's her opinion and she's got the right to share her opinion. I may not agree with everything that she said, because she says some things that I do agree with, and there's a lot of things that she says that I don't agree with, but it's her platform and she's saying what she wants to say. But what I will say is, even if there are some people that like go to the very extreme measures of doing the most when it comes to defending the person that they favor, which is Melody. Like I've said, I'm not a millimeter, but I'm definitely someone who supports her, and I'm happy to see her growing and thriving outside of that terrible marriage that she was in. I believe that without Melody's millimeters, the people who have been on the show with her have not come across extremely likable at all. And I'm going to talk about that separately. I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but I digress. I just really wanted to talk about this a little bit and get your thoughts on it. So let me know what you think about Destiny coming back to, quote, confront her ex-husband and his new wife on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and all of the stuff with Carlos and how it just seems like almost everything that he touches, it's turning to dust, and maybe not immediately. For some, definitely for some, and then for others, it's more gradual. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Guys, thanks so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and I'm going to say bye.